Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Hope you guys are doing well. Now, one of my mates in the comment section below keeps asking me to do this sort of video. Aiden Biskin, thank you very much for the suggestion. So basically, for every single night for the next 16 nights, as we get closer to the May 28 NRL return, I'm going to be giving a preview on each rugby league's NRL team, one by one. So each night there will be previews of each team. And I'm just going to go into who I think they need to sign to get that premiership or to get somewhere close to it. So tonight's going to be the Parramatta Eels. It's currently Tuesday night. It's about 9 o'clock p.m. Hope everyone has had a great day. Hope everyone's having a great night. So basically, I'm going to preview the Parramatta Eels of 2020, what they lack, what they have gained, where I think they'll finish on the ladder, and how I think they'll go, and what I think they need to sign to become a premiership contender. So, hope you guys enjoy it. So, we'll get into it. This is the Parramatta Eels 2020 preview. So, we'll start off with their 1-17 predicted side. Now, it's pretty similar to the current side I've got now. I made one change to the starting side and one change to the bench. So I'll go through the team. Fullback, Clint Gutherson. On the wings, Mike Acevo and Blake Ferguson. In the centres, Michael Jennings and Wagga Blake. 5'8", Dylan Brown. Halfback, Mitchell Moses. The front row, Junior Paulo and Kane Evans. The hooker, Reed Marnie, if he's back in time. Second row, Sean Lane and Ryan Madison. The lock is Nathan Brown. And on the bench, Brad Takarangi, Regan Campbell-Gillard, Morata Niakore, and the other one that I like, Oregon Kafusi. Would love to see this guy get an opportunity on the bench at least. Now, Reed Marnie, I'm not sure if he'll be playing because of that injury, but if he doesn't play, I'm predicting they'll probably bring in Salmon or Will Smith, one of the two. I would say Salmon would come in. He would probably start hooker, and then Takarangi would probably come on and play a bit of hooker or something. But hopefully Reed Marnie's back. But anyway, so that's the two changes I'd make. I'd start Kane Evans, and I'd bench Campbell-Gillard, and I'd piss off Penny Terapo. A lot of Parramatta fans who I'm friends with on social media and on Instagram and YouTube and whatnot, particularly Entertain House, Dean Sullivan, and a couple others, you know, a lot of them were upset about Penny Terapo in the side because a lot of people don't really go much on Penny Terapo. But look, I don't know if he's a first-grade player, to be honest. He goes all right, he does his job, but I don't know if he's a standout. Now, what I will say about Parramatta's team, it's pretty much the same one in real life, except the only difference they have is Campbell-Gillard starts. Now, I understand Campbell-Gillard starting because he's supposed to be a big-name player, but I feel like Kane Evans played really well there last year at front row, and he really took that opportunity he took it by the head, and he just ran with it. He did a fantastic job, I thought. But look, you know, for Parramatta, so let's get into what they lack, personally. So I think they lack a bit of depth in the halves. So if Mitchell Moses was to get injured for 6 to 8 weeks, I can't name a solid half who would replace him. I know there's guys like Salmon and Will Smith, but really, they're nothing but backup reserve grade players who, if they were in your NRL side for 6 to 8 weeks, it wouldn't look good. I think if Moses was injured, Parramatta would really struggle. They really would. I think they would really struggle to win. They would lose a lot of games. They'd lose more than what they would win if Moses was out injured. But that's just speaking if it ever happened. But the other thing they lack too, I think, for Parramatta to win a premiership, I think they're lacking another big name forward. Now I know they've got a decent forward pack now with the likes of Paulo, Campbell-Gillard, Evans and Brown and whatnot, as you know, front row and at lock. And I just feel like Parramatta don't have that big name forward who will get you 200 metres a game, who will lead by example, that leader sort of player. They're missing a David Clemmer or a Siwa Takiyaho type player. If Parramatta had any of those two players, I think they would be a massive chance and a massive premiership contender to win the premiership. Now, if they can somehow get some salary cap room and sign a David Clemmer or a Siwa Takiyaho or someone at that calibre, they may be, and they are probably having a big opportunity of winning the premiership. Now, the other thing that I think Parramatta are lacking, that a lot of people may disagree with, but I would like to know in the comment section below. I do not believe that Clint Gutherson is going to be a premiership winning fullback. He's a solid player. I believe he's on 700,000 a season or something. 650, 700,000 a year. I believe he is always going to be a chance for Origin. He'll always be in contention because he's sort of a utility type player. You can play him anywhere in the field. But I don't see Gutherson as a premiership winning fullback. I don't know if he has the ball handling skills as a fullback, because fullbacks these days are pretty much like extra 5'8". You got to have the ball playing. You got to have a little bit of a kicking game in you. You got to be the fittest guy, which Gutherson is at Parramatta. That's a good sign. That's a good attribute to Gutherson's game. But I feel like I don't know if Gutherson's on the level of a Tedesco or a Tuivasa Sheck or a Tommy Turbo or a Kalen Ponga. I don't see Gutherson on that sort of level. I see Gutherson on the level as like, he's a good fullback, but I don't think he's like a top 3, top 4. He may be 5 or 6 best fullback in the competition because of other guys like Pappenhausen and Charles-Nickel Klokstad and blah, blah, blah. But I think Gutherson is going to end up as a long-term centre. But I think Parramatta are lacking a big-name forward like a Clemmer or a Takiyaho. Maybe a ball-playing fullback. And what I would do, I would play Gutherson centres. When Jennings retires, Gutherson the centre, go sign a fullback, and then look for another forward. Now, that's some money for when Jennings retires. Anyway, let's move on to what they have gained for 2020. Now, what they have done, they've signed Ryan Madison, and they've signed Regan Campbell-Gillard. Now, what Ryan Madison and Regan Campbell-Gillard does do to Parramatta, it does improve their forward pack a little bit. Moni Ma'u's gone, so in comes Ryan Madison. And then Tim Manners gone for Parramatta, in comes Campbell-Gillard. So really, they haven't replaced that much. They're similar to what they were in 2019. Now, the Bankwest factor, it's a good thing. It's a really good thing. Now, the other thing I forgot to mention in Parramatta's lack, they lack winning away from home. They can't win outside of Bankwest and ANZ Stadium very often. But enough of that. Back to the gains, Madison and Campbell-Gillard, good additions. Fantastic. Bankwest factor, solid. They may get predictable at Bankwest, but we'll see what happens. But it's a good advantage to be playing at Bankwest. The other thing that I'm really impressed with Parramatta the last year and a half is their attack. Now, their attack for mine has been very good. Last year, they could score 30, 40 points at Bankwest. No worries. But when they would travel to places like Suncorp Stadium, they would sometimes lose by 60, like they did against the Melbourne Storm last year. And they lost the Broncos in Golden Point there last year. They lost to the Cowboys in Townsville last year. They were not good away from home. They lost in Canberra. They lost in Newcastle. But, the good thing about Parramatta is they have a side now that can win away from home. If you look at their team now, pretty much the same as last year except for two or three players. They know how to win away from Bankwest. They just need to get that mentality. Listen, guys, we're going to be going off to Melbourne this weekend. We're going to be like we are at Bankwest. Look, we're going to go play the Roosters. we got to be on our game. We got to, there's times where last year they'd play at Bankwest, they'd play someone like the Warriors, they'd beat the Warriors, they'd play someone like the Tigers, destroy the Tigers. But when they'd play someone like the Melbourne Storm, or the Raiders, or the Roosters, we'll give it a crack, but we'll get hammered. They got to learn to beat these big sides if they're going to be a premiership contender going forward. The other thing too, I know it was only the first 2 rounds, and they only played the Titans and the friggin' Bulldogs, and they were lucky to beat Canterbury, but they destroyed the Gold Coast, even though it wasn't convincing. What I will say is, when Parramatta have the ball on the attack and they're attacking the try line, what I want to see as a rugby league YouTuber who likes to analyse rugby league, and I like to call myself a bit of an analyser because that's what I love to do, and that's what I want to do. When someone like Mitchell Moses or Dylan Mann has the ball and you're running at the line, go with speed! Get the defence nervous. Concern them. When the halfback goes at the line, the halfback doesn't give a shit if the second rower puts a big hit on him. They don't give a crap. What they are watching, they're watching the outside and they're watching what the inside of the back row's doing. So when the halfback's going at the line here on the right side, so you got Moses and Madison, right? They're going at the right side. They're checking the defence. Moses is watching what that back rower or what that centre is doing, depending on what either side that they're in between the half. Moses isn't concerned about getting hit late, even though he'll whinge about it like an idiot, but he doesn't care. He will go at the line. He'll have Ryan Madison there. He'll have Wagga Blake. Great X Factor. Blake Ferguson. He'll do a backflip in the corner for crying out loud. Probably a front flip too. When they go at the line, you got to go to the line with speed. You're not going to concern any defenders whatsoever. So, for example, on Parramatta's right side, Moses goes. Ryan Madison's here. Wagga Blake's there for an option. Ferguson's there if needed. They'll go at the line. The 5'8" will come up. He'll make a decision whether to come in or stay out, depending on what they want to do. And Moses will run. The 5'8" will come in. And then the ball will go to Madison. And then the back row's already flat-footed. And then he'll pass it to Wagga Blake. And then the centre's nervous. He's already confused. The winger won't have a clue because wingers these days, they suck at marker and then they'll score in the corner. But when you go at the line, I don't care if you're on the right side, the left side. This goes for all halves in the NRL. When you go at the line with friggin' speed. You'll get the defence nervous. Don't just run and do out-the-back block plays. Like Moses, block play to Ryan Madison with a decoy, straight to Gufferson. You're not going to concern defenders doing block plays because football nowadays, rugby league football these days, it's all kick reception footy. There's not enough penalties in the game unless you're the Melbourne Storm and the Sydney Roosters. It's all kick reception footy. You're not going to win grand finals off block plays. You got to get the line with speed and you got to get the defence nervous. Now, overall, I believe Parramatta in 2020 are going to have a good year. I think they have a great roster. They are 1 or 2 pieces away from a premiership. If Parramatta had a David Clemmer and they had someone like a Takiaho, maybe just to improve the bench a little bit more. You know, the bench ain't too bad. I'm okay with young players on the bench because the forwards in the starting side will do the job. So, overall, I'm predicting the Parramatta Eels in 2020 to finish in 6th position. It's a spot lower than last year, only because teams around them, I think, will improve as well. But I'll get to them when I preview them tomorrow night or whatever night. But as I said before, guys, each night I'll be doing a preview on each NRL club that I haven't already previewed. So tonight's been Parramatta. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed my preview on Parramatta. Make sure you guys go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, share the video. And what I will say is tomorrow night I will preview the Melbourne Storm. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.